From our nation's capital, it's the final weekend before March and a critical game for Kyron Cartwright and the Providence Friars. Right on the NCAA bubble, they cannot afford to slip up against Jesse Govan and the Georgetown Hoyas.
Michael Jordan. Wow! Oh my goodness! How about that? Oh boy! Unbelievable! Dreams to come true. As good as it gets.
On a cloudy day from Washington, D.C., you're watching March to March, presented by California Almonds. Today, Big East basketball on CBS Sports Network as the Providence Friars visit the Georgetown Hoyas. A look at the standings in the Big East. Providence comes in at 8-7, tied for 4th in the league. Georgetown at 5-10. And hi, everyone. Welcome to Washington, D.C. with former Villanova coach Steve Lapis. I'm Andrew Catalan. Tina Servasio will join us as well. When you look at Providence, our bracketologist Jerry Palm has the Friars in the tournament right now, but they are right on the bubble, and this is a game they cannot afford to lose.
Yeah, right now they are barely in. The problem for today is they're playing a team that has played its best basketball of the year in Georgetown, but their RPI's in the 130s. So if Providence doesn't get this one today, unfortunately it's a bad loss for them, but it's very deceptive because Georgetown's playing very well right now.
When you look at this matchup, we met with Patrick Ewing a few minutes ago, and he told us that Kyron Cartwright is the head of the snake, and we've got to cut him off. He makes Providence go.
Well, he's the leading assist man in the Big East Conference, one of 3 players in the history of Providence with over 600 assists. He's a tremendous scorer, and he can get in the lane and shoot these little fadeaways. He also makes threes, but the biggest thing is he makes his teammates better. When Providence plays well, he plays well.
For Georgetown, as we take a look at our Reese's player profile, Marcus Derrickson, tremendous improvement in his junior season.
And these numbers are much higher in Big East only games, averaging 18 points and almost 9 rebounds a game. He's a guy who can play in the post, he can shoot threes, didn't play well against Xavier, but before that, against Seton Hall and Butler, he was tremendous.
Only 3 games to go in the regular season. A big one for Providence today as they try to make their way to the NCAA tournament. Tip-off next on CBS Sports Network. Tip it off, and for more on the Hoyas, we say hello to Tina Servasio.
Hello there, Andrew. Georgetown's Jesse Govan came into this season as one of the centers to watch in the Big East. He earned that even before Patrick Ewing was named head coach. I talked to Govan yesterday, and he said that when Ewing was hired, he knew he had to be a sponge and take in everything he could from the Hall of Famer. But Ewing has been very hard on Govan. He said, ask anyone in this program, he's been the hardest on me, but I'm embracing it. He was one of the greatest centers ever. When I talked to Ewing, he said he sees great talent in his center when he scores and rebounds. We're a dominant team, but I'm hard on him because the best is yet to come, which also means he's still going to be hard on his center the rest of his time.
Yeah, no better guy to learn from for Jesse Govan. As you take a look at the starting lineups, no surprises on either side. For Providence, Rodney Bullock, 7 points or fewer in 3 of his last 5 games. He's got to get going for Ed Cooley, now in his 7th season as Friars head coach. 4 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. First time in school history they've done that. And now a big one today to try to make it 5 in a row for Providence. Ed Corbett, Matt Potter, Brent Hampton are the officials today. Big East basketball on CBS Sports Network. We're underway from Capital One Arena.
You know, it'll be interesting to see today, Andrew, how Providence deals with Jesse Govan, who had 27 in the first game. Nobody else for Georgetown was in double figures in that game.
He tied his career high in that game, February 6th, up at Providence. Out of bounds, it'll stay with Georgetown. That was a wild finish when Ed Cooley's team was down 5 with 1:20 to go, and they closed the game on a 9-0 run to win. Jonathan Mulmore had it stripped, taken away, and a turnover by the Hoyas.
And that's one of the things you got to keep your eye on with the Hoyas. They average 16, almost 16 turnovers a game. They had 16 against Providence the first game also, so have to be very careful handling the ball against this Friar team.
Alpha Diallo's first shot attempt is off the mark, and it's back in the hands of the Hoyas. Marcus Derrickson guarded by Bullock. Derrickson trying to back him down. His turnaround won't go.
You know, Derrickson is one of these guys, kind of a prototypical stretch four. They didn't get back that time fast enough. But he can post up, and he's a very good three-point shooter. So he's a threat in both areas.
Third in the Big East in three-point shooting percentage. Here's Bullock. Off glass won't go. Khalif Young, the offensive board.
See, Bullock's got to finish that. He's a senior. They need him on the road today. That was a terrible miss by Kyron Cartwright.
Ed Cooley told us before the game that the three seniors on the Friars, they have not had a game since their Big East opener when all three seniors played well together. Maybe one plays well, maybe two, but not all three. That's what he was looking for today.
Well, at this time of the year on the road especially, Andrew, they've got to come through for Ed Cooley.
Young's jumper is good, and we have our first bucket of the day.
I think this kid is much improved. He's lost a lot of weight from last year, and he's got very good feet, and to be able to knock that out is a plus.
Khalif Young had 11 points and 7 rebounds in the first game against Georgetown.
They're going to try and keep the ball out of Jesse Govan's hand and make him catch it far out. If he's going to post up that far out, but that's a heck of a shot.
Pretty from Jesse Govan, who's got a double-double in back-to-back games.
And I think Khalif Young did a great job there of pushing him out of the paint and making him take and make a tough shot.
There's Jalen Lindsey bouncing it over to Cartwright. Cartwright, Lindsey, and Bullock, the three seniors we mentioned a moment ago for Providence. 5 on the shot clock. Alpha Diallo. Shot fake blocked by Caleb Johnson. Out of bounds with 1 second on the shot clock.
Well, it was a pretty good shot fake by Diallo, but give Caleb Johnson credit. He stayed down on that fake, and that's why he was able to keep him in front and block the shot.
Got to put it up right away. Bullock does, and gets the bounce. Rodney Bullock's 3 gives Providence a 5-2 lead.
And both these teams are primarily man-to-man teams. Providence will play a little bit more zone than Georgetown does.
Jamarco Pickett, and before the shot, a foul was called by Ed Corbett. Ed Corbett is retiring at the end of the season after a long run as a referee. And Coach, I know you know Ed pretty well.
Many years.
Few discussions over the years.
Yeah, he ran me over a couple of times, as a matter of fact. He didn't run me out of a game because I never got thrown out, but he ran me over.
Marcus Derrickson lays it in for 2.
Great referee, one of the best, and a tremendous guy. But they're all nice to me now, you notice.
They love you now.
Now.
Yeah. Bullock comes off the screen. His jumper won't go. And the rebound to Jonathan Mulmore, one of 3 Georgetown seniors. Hoyas are celebrating Senior Day today, a ceremony before the game, as Johnson is fouled by Young.
Well, you can see what Georgetown's philosophy is in Patrick Ewing. He wants to push the ball up. And Mulmore did a good job of pushing the ball up the floor. Caleb Johnson taking it to the basket. Providence was backpedaling. They weren't ready in transition that time.
Second foul on Khalif Young. And he's going to come out of the game as Johnson makes the first free throw. Checking in is Nate Watson, who will get a nice hand from the fans here in D.C. He's a native of Arlington, Virginia. Played at Bishop O'Connell in the D.C. Catholic League.
And Providence has a pretty good thing going with a two-headed center. They don't really lose much between either Young or Watson.
Lindsey for 3. It's an air ball. Has been struggling of late. Has 2 games, just 7 points combined, and Govan again.
Now that was a quick move, and that was they don't call that a fast break point, but I as a coach call that a fast break point, and that they pushed it up the floor, threw it into the paint. Providence not ready, and he's able to make the jump hook.
Here's Watson, first touch. Turnaround is short.
Why you
Good job by Providence getting back that time.
Providence has won 7 straight meetings in this series against Georgetown. Hoyas have not won since February of 2014. Good defense by Diallo, the steal. Diallo full speed ahead, and he's fouled by Momor.
That was great defense by Providence that time. Good help, doing what they need to do in the half court.
But early on, Jesse Govan has 4 points for the Hoyas. They have a 2-point lead. With an early 7-5 lead on Providence. We mentioned these two teams met back February 6th up in Rhode Island. Providence with a 9-0 run to close the game and come back to beat Georgetown. What adjustments do each team have to make from that first meeting?
Well, I think Providence needs a double Govan. He had 27 points in that game and really had his way. I think more zone defense would also help them do that. And Providence, about 15% of their defense is zone, so they should play it more. Georgetown, they turned it over a lot against Providence's 1-2-2-3 quarter court press. So attacking that press with their press offense is important, and Georgetown has to keep Providence offline. They took 33 free throws in that first game. Providence did. Big reason why they won the game.
Patrick Ewing should flash back to his playing days. The most wins he had against any school in his career was Providence. He went 9-1 as a player for the Hoyas against the Friars. He averaged 17-7 against Providence and shot 62% from the floor. Didn't have a losing record against a lot of teams.
No, exactly. I mean, how many games did he lose in 4 years? Like 12, maybe? I may be even overestimating.
Georgetown class of '85 won the '84 national title. There's Diallo with 6 on the shot clock. Bounces it to Watson. His shot is good.
This kid's going to be a good player.
Shooting a team-high 60% from the floor. Nate Watson out of Arlington, Virginia.
Looking for the high-low that time. Providence did a good job of fronting Derrickson.
A rare miss by Caleb Johnson, but the offensive rebound to Derrickson. His putback won't go, and it comes right to Cartwright. Cartwright attacking Momor, and he's fouled.
That's when Kyron Cartwright is at his best, when he can push the ball up the floor and he's got you backpedaling and he continues to attack your body. He gets to the free throw line a lot, and that was not a foul, by the way. Let me just say that. He is getting to the free throw line, though he does not deserve to be there.
He shoots 74% from the line this year. Free throws a big key in that first meeting between these two. Providence at a +9 advantage in free throws made. Georgetown really struggled in that game, shooting just 62%.
And that was a game, as you said, Andrew, that Georgetown gave away up 5 with a minute and 10 to go in the game. You got to close that one out. They had a very bad foul that put Cartwright at the foul line with 4 seconds to go that ended up winning the game.
That was part of a stretch for the Hoyas where they gave away a lot of games. Like they couldn't lock down the deciding minutes of games. But since then, they're playing better. Patrick Ewing said we're starting to grow up a little bit. We're learning from our mistakes as Derrickson hits the 3.
Well, that was a good drive and kick by Trey Dickerson. Trey Dickerson has played in the last 4 or 5 games tremendous basketball, and they had struggled at the point guard spot kind of all year, and he's really given them a big lift.
Yeah, we were there in Butler when he had a career-high 18 points in the win at Hinkle Fieldhouse. There's Watson jumper. And it's tipped out and around right to Diallo. Isaiah Jackson to the game. His first shot attempt is short on the 3, but a long rebound to Bullock. Extra opportunities here on this possession for the Friars. Tied for 4th in the Big East, along with Creighton and Seton Hall.
And you know, Georgetown doesn't usually get beat on the boards. That's what happened in the Xavier game, where they played very well, shot 48% from the field, but got beat on the backboards.
Cartwright jumper. And a foul inside is going to go on Nate Watson. Let's go back to that three by Derrickson.
Well, you take a look here. It all starts really with the dribble. Stop right there. That dribble penetration right there is what created the opening on the weak side of the floor. And that's why Derrickson was able to knock out that three. So it started with Jamarco Pickett forcing two guys to guard him, reversing the ball. Derrickson gets the open three.
Part of Providence's problems this year has been shooting. 42% from the floor in Big East games. That's last in the conference. And so far today, they're 3 out of 13, just 23%.
I think one of the differences in this team lately, Andrew, has been their ability to score more and get other options besides Govan and Derrickson.
Dickerson, hey, he's provided a nice boost for Patrick Ewing.
Really, he's been tremendous. Now that's falling asleep.
And Watson makes him pay. Patrick Ewing said about the loss of Xavier on Wednesday night that Xavier wanted it more in the second half. It's not a comment that you want to hear out of your head coach. And he said that this week at practice he let his team have it a little bit, but the message was, we have a lot of basketball left if you want it. And Pickett wanted that three.
This kid is going to be a big-time player. And the great thing about him, he's a DC kid. And for Georgetown, getting DC kids and having them be successful, not just get DC kids, have them be good is important. And Pickett is one of those guys who I think is going to be a big-time.
Bullock can't answer with the three, and Derrickson clears. Here comes Dickerson flying up ahead. And a foul on the drive by Jagan Mosley. Ed Cooley does not agree with that. It takes us to a timeout. Hoyas lead by 4 on CBS Sports Network. Down on top of Providence, 15-11. It's been quite a turbulent 48 hours in the world of college basketball. Multiple reports about the ongoing FBI investigation, naming teams, naming players for several big schools across the country. It's almost like you're checking your phone to see what's happening next. This is a very turbulent time right now in college hoops, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame what's going on right now. And if this stuff is true, then coaches need to pay the price. And players probably need to pay the price, because accepting that, I think most kids know you're not supposed to accept anything. And coaches certainly know they're not supposed to do that. So, unfortunately, whatever's true, I think heads are going to roll and should roll.
As a former coach and being around it for so long, how surprised are you at some of the stuff that's coming out?
I'm not surprised in that, we heard about this stuff for the last 30, 40 years. It's been, going on in a different way. It wasn't agents, now it's agents. At one point it was boosters. And you hate to see, is it rampant? Boy, it kind of looks like there's a lot of people involved. So hopefully they get to the bottom of it and we can get to move on and have college basketball be what it's supposed to be.
Neither Providence or Georgetown have been mentioned in the reports that have come out. And right now, it's a 5-point Georgetown advantage as they try to avoid the season sweep at the hands of the Friars. Bullock, the line, Watson getting on up in front of the home fans.
Boy, that was a pretty good play, because I thought Pickett was back there and was going to be able to do something and intercept that pass, but Watson with a great finish.
He averaged a double-double in the D.C. Catholic League last year, playing for Bishop O'Connell, and has already got 6 points in the first half. Derrickson turnaround, doesn't get the roll, and the rebound to Bullock.
It's funny because a lot of times when guys go home, they don't have good games because, they're a little nervous. They got their family, friends in the stands, but this kid's starting out really well.
Here's Bullock, blocked by Caleb Johnson.
Caleb Johnson's a very good defender.
Dickerson showing off the speed, but called for an offensive foul.
Well, you take a look at this alley-oop here, and Pickett looks like he's going to be there and just let Watson sneak in front of him. Pretty good finish.
How about the charge?
He's backing up. That's close. I don't know about that one.
Substitutions for both teams. Drew Edwards and Malik White have come in for the Friars. And checking in for Georgetown, Antoine Walker, the freshman out of Washington, D.C., another local player playing for the Hoyas. As Patrick Ewing said, when he was here, we were the king of the hill, and we got the cream of the crop from the D.C. area. That needs to continue again. It's certainly a focus of his recruiting, as Watson can't get that one to go.
They used to get, Dunbar was the big high school in those days, and they got all the Dunbar kids, Reggie Williams being one of the great ones that they had. I believe Michael Jackson was from the area here, not Dunbar. David Wingate.
Govan's step back jumper is good.
Well, the guy who recruited them all sitting behind us. So.
John Thompson is doing the games on radio right now behind us. And for more on Coach, we send it over to Tina Servasio.
I asked Patrick Ewing yesterday what he's liked most about taking over as head coach at Georgetown. He said, I love absolutely everything, walking these halls. But you know what he loves the most? He actually loves being around John Thompson. Like you said, he's at this game. He is still a mentor to him. He said, even in my advanced age, he's still a father figure to me, and I'm still learning to be a college coach from him now. It's just something that's gone on throughout Ewing's life.
Well, you know, to have played for John Thompson, who obviously had a history and a reputation. He had Alonzo Mourning, Mutombo, had a lot of good big men over the years. I have to say, 3 of the best in the history of the game, actually. Neither one of those 2 guys up to Patrick's standard. But close, but not up to his.
That three is off the mark by Lindsay, and here comes Dickerson. Bounces it to Mosley off glass for 2.
But you can see the philosophy that Patrick Ewing is trying to instill in the Georgetown program. That is, we are pushing the ball up the floor. So good guard play is so critical for Patrick Ewing in the philosophy he's trying to establish. Great cut and a great pass.
And Diallo missed it. Providence is now 6 for 21 in the first half. 3 by Javon Blair is good. Ed Cooley calls timeout. Providence not firing on all cylinders so far in this first half, as the Hoyas have their lead up to 8, and Antoine Walker appears to be shaken up on the Georgetown bench. We're back right after this. Back in Washington, D.C., and you saw Antoine Walker get shaken up before that last time out. Now he's heading off to the Georgetown locker room. So see if we can get an update on the freshman out of Washington, D.C. Georgetown has upped its lead to 23-15 with 9:02 to play.
And they're looking to pick up the tempo here with some full court pressure, Andrew, which they don't really do that often. So Patrick Ewing being very aggressive so far in this game. You know, that Big East tournament's going to be unbelievable, because you look at Georgetown and St. John's, maybe the 2 most improved teams in the league since the beginning of the year. Who wants to play either one of those teams in the first round?
Nobody. Nobody does. It's going to be wild at Madison Square Garden. Hoya is riding a 16-6 run right now. Diallo for 3. It's good. Big shot for the Friars out of the timeout.
And he's not a 3-point shooter, so that is definitely a bonus. Against the pressure, you got to be aggressive, and that's what Providence was there. That's the way to make a team stop pressing you, is be in attack mode and score.
That's just his 12th 3 of the year. He was shooting 21% coming into the game. Dickerson's 3 is not a good one. Patrick Ewing looking at him as he comes back down the floor. Cartwright spins, turnaround, jumper is good. Pretty for Kyron Cartwright.
Yeah, he's got to be into it more. That was a good aggressive move there. They need Cartwright to play with. He's kind of been sleeping for the last 5-6 minutes of this game. He can't do that.
5 quick points for the Friars to cut it down to 3. Blair another 3. Not this time, and a rebound to Cartwright. Nearly runs into Diallo.
That was very good defense by Rodney Bullock, who fires the 3 there.
And hits. 8 straight points out of the timeout, and now Georgetown calls timeout. Whatever Ed Cooley said, it worked.
It definitely worked. You got Kyron Cartwright is the guy who's got to make this thing go. When he's aggressive, this team can beat a lot of people. And Rodney Bullock in transition for the 3, tie game.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by California Almonds. Own your everyday. Every day. By Golden Corral, your choice rules. And by AT&T.
Jack the Bulldog, he's my ride to the train station after the game today. Tied at 23, and moments ago, Patrick Ewing in the Georgetown huddle.
back. I don't care what happened down there. You got to get back. Do you hear me?
Coach Ewing getting after his guys as Georgetown has allowed 8 straight points to Providence.
I love it. That happened. Georgetown had scored, and then Nate Watson, who's the big man for Providence, beats everybody down and gets a layup. He was not happy, and he's right. All that is effort, and he's not hearing it. I love that. That was great.
On this 8-0 run for the Friars, Cartwright has had a part in all 8 points. 1 field goal, 2 assists, and now we're tied at 23. And so far today, Cartwright 4 points, 5 assists, no turnovers. In fact, the Friars have not turned it over yet in this ball game. Inside 8 minutes to go. Big East basketball here on CBS Sports Network.
And I'm really surprised, Andrew, that's the first time that Providence has tried that 1-2-2 3/4 court press, which killed Georgetown in the first game, especially in the first half. That was the first time they used it.
Good pass. And down low, Govan finishes.
Yeah, Rodney Bullock, they got a small team in the game now, Providence. So Rodney Bullock ends up on Govan, and Patrick Ewing goes back to his pro days where they take advantage of those kind of things better. Gets it inside to Govan right away.
8 points for Govan. Malik White misses the reverse lay-in off the feet from Bullock. Dickerson over to Mosley. Mosley will take a 3. And hit. 12th 3 of the year for Jagan Mosley. So some unexpected sources of 3-point shooting. Diallo and Mosley in this first half. Georgetown's 4 of 6 from deep.
They're really trying to force Cartwright to the sideline.
Bullock drives in, can't get it to go, and Derrickson takes it off the glass. 6th rebound for Marcus Derrickson. Govan bobbled it, gets it back, guarded by Bullock. And Govan counted in the foul. They cannot guard Govan right now.
Yeah, the size is killing them. They just go into him every time. Rodney Bullock, and you see right away Nate Watson coming back into the game for Ed Cooley. He sees it. He knows he's got a guy that's at least 3 inches shorter than him.
Govan is now 8 points away from 1,000 for his career. And he's one of just 2 players averaging a double-double in the Big East, along with Angel Delgado of Seton Hall. Can't finish off a 3-point play, and it's still a 7-point Georgetown lead with 6:20 to go. After the 8-0 run by Providence, the Hoyas have answered with 7 straight points. Cartwright is fouled by Dickerson. 7 points in the last minute 19 for Patrick Ewing's club. We met with him before the game and said, you know, you're playing better, you're coming close, and he doesn't care that it's his first year. He said there's no moral victories. I'm trying to win every single game, and I don't want to hear about coming close.
That's why he's one of the greatest to ever play the game. That's his attitude. I say he's got a honeymoon for sure right now.
Watson, wow, what a spark he's provided off the bench for Providence. 8 points for Nate Watson.
Pretty nice pick and roll right there.
That ends the 7-0 run. 5:45 to go first half. Big game for Providence. They're right on the NCAA tournament bubble. They need this one today.
Yeah, as we talked about, Andrew, they don't win this game. Unfortunately, it goes down as a good seal up by Derrickson there.
7 points, 6 rebounds for Marcus Derrickson, inching closer to a double-double.
It's tough when you're playing a team that's playing really well, but struggles somewhat during the season, so their RPI is not good. And this would be considered a bad loss for Providence, but we know it's not a bad loss. But on paper, unfortunately, it will be if they lose.
And a kick ball. When you look at what Providence has left, just 2 games to go in the regular season, Wednesday at Xavier for their senior night. J.P. McCura, Trayvon.
Good luck.
That's a great opportunity for Providence to get a big win, but that's not going to be easy going out there.
They'd rather win this game than the game against St. John's,
right.
And I think they're pretty safe. If they lose to Xavier, it's not going to kill them. Obviously, it's a great thing if they can go there and win. I used to look at the schedule before the season so I'd see where I was going for senior day, and if they had good seniors, I'd be like, oh, no. Oh, who needs this? Add a little more emotion to the game.
Yeah, that'll be a wild scene at the Cintas Center on Wednesday night for Xavier. What a class they have. 5 to shoot for Providence. Watson guarded by Govan. Back out, Cartwright has to put up a 3. It's an air ball and a shot clock violation.
Cartwright yelling at Watson, saying, why didn't you go up with it? You had the ball 8 feet from the basket, and he's right. He kicks it out to Cartwright. Cartwright doesn't even have enough time to shoot the ball. Nate Watson should have shot that ball. Got to be more aware of the clock.
That's the first Providence turnover today with 4:40 to go.
And here's that zone. They play it about 15% of the time. It's not a bad thing to use against a team that can score in the post area. Georgetown got to get it to the high post.
Erickson's pass deflected and comes to Diallo. A turnover by the Hoyas. That's their 5th. Bullock for 3. Count it.
I mean, it's semi-transition. Bullock stepping into the basket in stride. That is a good 3 that a good shooter like him is going to knock out a pretty high percentage of the time.
Bullock has a team-high 9 points in the first half. Pickett deep 3, won't go, and Watson with the rebound.
A little quick there.
Diallo, 17-footer. Momore, one of the Georgetown seniors on this, their senior day. They do have one more home game Monday against Marquette, but today is senior day. And another turnover.
Yeah, that should have been a bounce pass into the post by Momore. He threw that a high pass. He could have bounced that in. Good pass.
Jackson 3. No. Tip to Momore. Momore one-on-one with Cartwright. Hands off to Govan! Cartwright shaken up on the play. So there's a timeout with 3:21 to go. We'll check on Kyron Cartwright when we come back. This was the play, the big dunk, and you see he took a foul step right there. We're back with today's Golden Corral teams, hungry for a bid. A closer look at the Big East. Jerry Palm has 6 teams in from the Big East. All 4 of these teams, along with Villanova and Xavier. What are your thoughts, Coach?
Well, I think the first 3 are in. Creighton got a big game at home with Villanova today. I think we're pretty safe, but Providence is the one that's on the edge. They got a 48 RPI, which is not bad. Jerry Palm thinks they're an 11 seed right now. The problem for them is that they beat Xavier, they beat Villanova, both unbelievable wins at home. Their best other win was at Marquette, which obviously is a good one, not as good as the Villanova and Xavier wins. Those 2 bad losses can hurt. I think they're in a position where if they win 2 of their last 3 games, assuming they go to Xavier and they don't win, they win today and they beat St. John's, I think they're in really good shape. If they lose either this game or St. John's, their fate's going to be up in the air when it comes to Selection Sunday.
Yeah, tricky resume, as you saw. They lost at home to DePaul, which is a killer loss, and then they came back and beat Villanova in the next game. So a little bit hard to figure, but they have opportunity in front of them. A big game today. They trail by 6. Let's check in with Tina Servacio.
Kyron Cartwright did not get much treatment from any of the trainers, but he went to sit down with the active players. He just was moving a bit cautiously. He was the last player to get up after that timeout. I don't know, and even just now as he took the ball up the floor, there's something a little bit slow or cautious about him. But like I said, no treatment from any of the medical staff, and he's back in there.
Yeah, worth monitoring. Thank you for the update, Tina. Meanwhile, Jonathan Momore just picked up his 3rd foul, so he goes to the bench for the Hoyas with 3:05 to go.
And Cartwright's had some ankle issues this year, which we know from games back in December. That's a good cut.
Jackson lays that one in. First bucket today for Isaiah Jackson.
This zone is tough. The 1-2-2 zone with Diallo on top. How'd that pass get through?
It's amazing. Johnson missed a shot.
There was some Friars were sleeping on that one.
Cartwright scored his 1,000th point in the loss against Seton Hall on Wednesday and Thursday. The game was stopped on Wednesday due to unsafe playing conditions. They finished on Thursday at Alumni Hall at Providence. As that triple is good. Diallo's second three.
This Diallo, I know he's a sophomore, but he's gonna have a heck of a career as a Friar because he's tough, he's strong, he's a great defender, and if he learns how to shoot the ball, now we're really talking.
Johnson connects. Second in the Big East in field goal percentage at 56%.
And that's good offense by Georgetown, trying to get the ball into the teeth of that zone instead of just firing up jumpers. Clear out for Cartwright. Well, that could have been a charge.
No call. Watson and one. Nate Watson continues to impress, the freshman out of Arlington, Virginia. He's got 10.
Well, this was a clear out for Kyron Cartwright. That could have been a charge in a second. And what happened when he knocked over his man, the help came, but nobody rotated to Watson because Watson's man came out on Cartwright. That no call was a tough one.
Watson's career high, 20 points against Creighton. And already 10 here in the first half. Derrickson, cross court to Pickett. Wide open three.
That was a really good pass by Derrickson. He knew the guy furthest away on the weak side was open because of the double team.
Cartwright, no. Derrickson the rebound. His 8th board of the half. And Derrickson can't finish at the other end. Rolls around and out. Johnson steals it. Johnson swatted by Watson. Right to Blair, and they leave Pickett alone. Take another look. Rodney Bullock tried to save that one and came down hard on his right leg. And Providence has called timeout with 35 seconds to go. It's a 3-point Georgetown lead. First half stats and highlights all coming up on AT&T at the half.
It's a good question. My vote, Lou Alcindor, Bill Walton.
Hard to argue those. There's a lot of people to put in that conversation. And we'll have more on that coming up on AT&T at the half. Good sign for the Friars as Rodney Bullock is able to stay in the game after taking that hard fall. There's a 5-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Bullock, corner three, won't go. And Georgetown can hold for the final shot.
They certainly should be.
This year, when leading at the half, Georgetown is 14-4. Mosley rejected, but Govan cleans it up. And they're going to get a shot. Cartwright at the buzzer. It'll be good. Not
pretty good.
Too far off for Cartwright. And we go into the locker room with a 5-point game. Georgetown leads 40-35. Govan had 14 points in the first half to go along with 5 rebounds. Derrickson 7 points, 8 rebounds. And for Providence, Watson leading the way with 10. Let's go over to Tina Servasio.
Well, Coach Ewing, what have you seen from your players and their inside game that's allowed them to take the lead at the half here?
Well, we're doing a much better job. Last time we played them, the switches hurt us, and I thought that this game we're doing a much better job of not letting it affect us. We're moving the ball when there's switches. We're driving it a little, trying to get in the gap, going high-low, and just trying to then also try to get to the boards.
What have you done defensively to so far limit Cartwright?
Well, we're just trying to move our feet. You know, they hurt us a lot in transition in the first half. We did thought towards the end of the first half, we were able to get back and just try to set our defense a little bit more.
Coach Ewing, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Andrew?
That's the end of the first half. Georgetown leads 40-35. You're watching March to March, presented by California Almonds here on CBS Sports Network. kids in the house today. A noon start here, and at the half, Georgetown leads Providence 40-35. Back courtside with Steve Lapis, I'm Andrew Catalan. We'll hear from Tina Servacio coming up, but Georgetown has the advantage on the inside, and they used it big time in that first half.
Well, I think they played a great first half. Here's a team that averages almost 16 turnovers a game. They only had 5 in the first half. They out-rebounded Providence, they outshot Providence, and they basically have outplayed Providence and been throwing the ball in the lane every chance they get. And Jesse Govan and Marcus Derrickson, those guys have been the recipients of a lot of that. And, you know, we talk about points in the paint. It can be deceptive sometimes because sometimes it's drives, sometimes it's transition layups. This is flat out big men catching the ball in the lane, making moves, and getting it to the basket. Whether it was Derrickson or Govan, both these guys have dominated the paint in this game so far.
Here's a look at the first half numbers. Georgetown +6 on the glass in the rebound department, and they outscored Providence in the paint 22-12. Jesse Govan doing a lot of damage with 14 points and 5 rebounds for Georgetown. And Tina Servacio just caught up with Ed Cooley. What did he have to say, Tina?
Well, as you could imagine, Andrew, he was very upset with the way his defense played in the first half. He said, our guys have to be more connective in our defense. What happened was Georgetown was giving up a lot of those scrum baskets. They really have to limit those, make it tougher on them, defend them there. Now, specifically about Jesse Govan, he is now on high alert. They have to be more physical with Govan to try to limit him here in the second half.
Well, Tina, 6 times this year when Providence has trailed at the half, they've gone on to win the game, and they need a big comeback here today against the Hoyas. As we mentioned, Jerry Palmer, CBS Sports bracketologist, has the Friars in the NCAA tournament field right now as a number 11 seed, but as we've chronicled throughout the game today, they cannot afford to lose this one.
Well, if you're 11 seed, that means he has you as probably one of the last 4 in the tournament, that large team, so cannot afford a loss here today. But I like what Ed Cooley said to Tina at halftime. They've got to front Govan more and not let him get touches in the post. He's touching the ball way too much.
And the first thing Ed Cooley told us before the game about a key was energy, emotion, and toughness. And I don't think if you asked Ed Cooley if they played with any of those 3 things, he'd be happy with the effort in those 3 departments.
No, I think they've been half asleep. I think they had a tough thing with that Seton Hall game going 2 days, and then they had to take off and come to D.C. on the road. So it hasn't been an easy road for them to go, but they've got to get some things done. And that's a good way to start, attacking the rim right at the start of the second half.
First field goal today for Jalen Lindsey, one of those 3 seniors we highlighted at the first moments of the game that Ed Cooley was looking to play big time today. See if Lindsey can get going.
And he said they haven't played well, the 3 seniors, at the same time all year, and Lindsey's been missing in action for sure.
Great anticipation by Lindsey, but Derrickson gets it back, misses the shot, and the rebound to Khalif Young, who only played 4 minutes in the first half because of foul trouble.
That was pretty good defense that time. They tried to front Derrickson in the low post, did a good job, and made him take a tough shot when he did catch it.
Cartwright resets the Friars offense. Bounce pass to Young, and that shot halfway down and out for Khalif Young. Jonathan Mulmore with the basketball, 3 fouls in the first half.
Now they have a switch, and they got Cartwright on Derrickson in the post. They get it to him right away.
Derrickson backing down Cartwright, comes up short, tries to get his own rebound, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Hoyas.
I'm shocked that they didn't double Derrickson in the low post going on Kyron and Cartwright. Now, he did miss the shot, but, I mean, he's going to take Cartwright all day if they don't double. And I think that Patrick Ewing is, since he knows Providence tries to switch, he's good defense there by Jalen Lindsey.
The steal, and here's Diallo right at Caleb Johnson. Diallo missed it. Lindsey, the tip. Yes!
Now that's good hustle. They didn't wait and think that the ball was going to get laid in the basket. Jalen Lindsey kept running the floor. I'm going to guess Ed Cooley chewed him out pretty good at halftime, if I had to guess. As well he should have.
Young on Govan.
No double.
Govan Not this time, air ball, but Derrickson gets underneath and immediately grabs his right leg. Oh boy. You hope that Derrickson is okay. That was a non-contact grimace from Derrickson, who's trying to stay in the game. When he made that move right there, is where his right leg twisted.
Hey, get the ball.
Here's who's going to try to stay in this game. That was his 10th rebound. Now Derrickson has to come out. And hopefully, he had to come out because they stopped the game, but hopefully he's not there very long. As Johnson puts it up and is fouled. Derrickson at the end of the Georgetown bench.
Yeah, that's not a guy that they want to play without. They've got two guys they need to have, Govan and Derrickson.
Johnson at the free throw line. Well, the toughest sport on dirt takes the stage tonight at 10:30 Eastern for the second major of the season. Don't miss the WinStar World Casino and Resorts Iron Cowboy. It's the 25th PBR Unleash the Beast series, only on CBS Sports Network. Georgetown's lead is 3 with 17:50 to go. Hoyas had won 2 straight against Seton Hall and Butler before their loss Wednesday to Xavier. Cartwright jumper is good. Cartwright was 1 for 5 in the first half, but he hits on that one to cut the deficit down to 1. Mulmore not much of a shooter. He drives, shoots, and misses. And the rebound to Johnson. Offensive rebound for the Hoyas. And now Mosley will back it out. Cartwright kicks it out. And moments ago, Derrickson left the bench to go to the Georgetown locker room. So we'll wait for Tina Servasio to get an update on that one. Here's Mulmore with 9 on the shot clock. Trying to feed Govan. Good defense by Young. Now they get it to Govan with 3 to shoot. Govan has to put up a shot. It's a 2. It won't go. And tipped out of bounds to Providence.
Yeah, Nate Watson is being, Khalif Young is being much more physical with him now, which is what you need to do, and not let him get the ball in the low post.
Great sign right there as Derrickson comes back into the game. So he did not miss much time. Sigh of relief for Patrick Ewing and the Hoyas. Diallo, too strong off the glass, and Govan takes it down. Diallo got a hand on that pass, but it goes right to Johnson. Johnson looking to attack with the left hand and lays it in.
You know he's going left. That's what he does. He's left. He's going lefty.
7 points for Caleb Johnson, the junior out of South Hill, Virginia. He scored 11 in the loss to Xavier on Wednesday night. First time he was in double figures since January 3rd against Seton Hall.
And you know what? He can't score, Andrew, but I tell you, he does a lot of little things. He's a really good defender. One of their better defenders for sure.
5 on the shot clock. Diallo, 16-footer. No. Derrickson with his 11th rebound.
And this guy in the Big East rebound, doing everything is unbelievable.
Mulmore is fouled. And a timeout with 15:24 to go.
And Caleb Johnson doing a great job here getting to the basket. Hoyas keeping that lead at 3.
This is the year they won't do it, when they're about to do it again.
And let's say this, Roy Williams in Carolina, he's got them on a roll right now also.
They play Texas Tech at home tonight. Mulmore with the first free throw. Georgetown has started the second half cold, shooting just 1 for 6 from the floor. Mulmore makes a pair as we check in with Tina Servacio.
Well, in the Georgetown huddle, basically they want them to maintain what they're doing, keep playing this inside-out game, but you got to defend better, and they've got to get back in transition, Andrew. That's what the coach is focused on.
Steal by Mulmore. He leads the team in steals. That was his 26th of the year.
I like the pressure that Georgetown's using. They've used it sporadically, but it's been effective.
Johnson takes a bump. His shot is short. Here comes Cartwright. Numbers for the Friars. Cartwright wide open three. Yes. Big shot for Kyron Cartwright.
Yeah, that's bad transition defense. They didn't talk that out, and nobody was on Cartwright from the beginning. He threw it to the wing. They threw it back to him, but nobody was on him.
That triple makes it a 2-point game with 14.5 to go. Good defense by Diallo, but he couldn't come away with the basketball. Pickett holds on to it. Now Mulmore a three. Mulmore doesn't shoot many. It was just his 28th attempt of the year. He's made nearly half of them, but not on that occasion. Cartwright's got 9 points, 6 assists. Looking for more for three. Yes! And Cartwright puts the Friars on top.
Boy, what a great use of a screen. That was a set play where just a little down screen for Cartwright, and he was going to read how he was being played. Last time he made a three, he flared. This time he popped out, reading the defense well.
First lead for Providence since it was 9-7. Cartwright's got a dozen, along with 6 assists and 3 rebounds. Feeling it. Another one? No. And Govan the rebound. Poked away, though, by Bullock. How Govan goes to the ground and gets it. Mulmore, tough pass. Derrickson, and a miscommunication with Johnson. Well, let's go back to the Cartwright triple.
Take a look at Cartwright, how he moves without the ball. He's going to jab. When he comes off this screen, you're going to see it right as we go. Right there, stop it. He jabs his foot in here, and that makes the defense have to trail, and he ends up open for the three.
And Patrick Ewing just got a technical foul. He was not happy, and Brent Hampton teed him up. See, Lewis Orr comes out to try to make sure Ewing doesn't get ejected. But after that play, Ewing had a lot to say to Brent Hampton, and Hampton teed him up. So Diallo will shoot the free throw.
I mean, you're going to get teed like that. I mean, Patrick was on the court. There's like nothing that Brett Hampton could do about that one except give it tee.
One more for Diallo, and he makes them both to give Providence a 3-point advantage. Ewan is still looking in Hampton's direction as Providence has scored the last 8 points.
I'll tell you one thing, I think Jesse Govan touches the ball in the next possession. Providence runs this real tight flex offense. Al Skinner used to do it at BC all the time. Great shot there by Bullock.
That's a 2 for Bullock. 10 straight points for the Friars. This is their largest lead at 5 with 12:40 to go.
They need Jesse Govan to get a touch. They're going to run a baseline screen, it looks like, for Jesse Govan. There it is, a small to big screen, but that was not a good screen by Trey Dickerson.
Here is Dickerson. Over to Pickett. Pickett short on the shot. Everything in Providence's favor right now. They've got the momentum.
Providence done a great job defending the post area, and this kid looks like he's got, that was a good shot.
In and out for Cartwright.
They got to get a post touch, Georgetown. They did it the whole first half. Now they're not doing it.
Govan dribbling it off his foot. Diallo fighting Govan for the ball. Now a whistle and a tie-up. The possession arrow will keep it down on this side of the floor with the Hoyas.
There's been a huge difference in Georgetown's offense here in the second half. Have not been able to establish anything in the lane. Give Providence credit for the defense that Ed Cooley talked about at halftime, I'm sure.
Yeah, Providence is playing with a different energy as well in this second half.
Desperation should make you play harder.
18 on the shot clock, 12:01 to go in the game. Providence trailed by as many as 8. They now lead by 5.
Patrick Ewing trying to run a pick and roll here.
Dickerson, offensive foul. And a timeout. Providence shooting 6 of 12 in the second half. Georgetown just 1 out of 10. Let's take a look at our California Almonds crunch time performance, and right now it's Kyron Cartwright's time. He's taking over this game.
He's really starting to pick it up, and by the way, besides the 12 points that he has 6 assists and no turnovers for the game. And as Patrick Ewing said, he's the head of the snake. The way Providence goes, Kyron Cartwright goes, and now he's starting to pick it up. That's what a senior's supposed to do on the road after a lackluster first half, pick it up in the second half, and he has done that.
8 points in the second half for Kyron Cartwright, the senior out of Compton, California. Last year here in D.C., he had another memorable game. 1 rebound away from a triple-double. He had 16 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds. Remember, Providence has won 7 straight against Georgetown.
His improvement from his freshman year is really something. There's the full court pressure by Georgetown.
Cartwright blocked from behind by Pickett.
I was just getting ready to say he's feeling it, but that was a great defensive play.
See if Georgetown can capitalize off the Providence turnover, and a whistle away from the ball on the Friars, and a mock cheer from the Hoyas fans here. Khalif Young called for his 4th. So Young will go out and Watson returns.
I think one of the problems with that set offense there was Govan was on the low post and Derrickson was on the other low post. So 2 big guys in the low post, you can't get the ball inside. You got to get a high-low going.
Georgetown coming up on nearly 4 minutes without scoring a point.
And big guys have not touched the ball.
Ooh. Derrickson blocked. Derrickson gets it back. Blocked again by Diallo on a shot clock violation. Great defense by the Friars.
Wow, that really was.
Turnover number 10 by the Hoyas. Providence with just 2 turnovers on the day. Cartwright, who rarely comes out, will slow things down here for the Friars. Inside 11 minutes to play. Cartwright with 5 to Diallo, guarded by Blair. Diallo driving. Diallo hands off to Watson. Turnaround won't go. And Derrickson the board. Georgetown's missed 6 straight shots, and Pickett ends the streak. Big 3.
I'm telling you, this kid's going to be a big-time player without a doubt in my mind. That was a hard shot, and he was all net.
That stops a 10-0 run. Bullock trying to answer. His 3 is good. 4-3 for Rodney Bullock. He's got 14.
Not a great job getting out on him by the Hoyas that time. You know he's a stretch 4 who can make threes.
5-point lead for Providence as we approach the midway point of the second half. 13-3 run for the Friars. Govan off glass, no. And now numbers with Govan trailing the play. Cartwright acknowledges it, attacks, and scores!
And that was the best look that Govan has gotten this whole half.
Great job by Cartwright to look behind, see that Providence had numbers, and then attack. And now a foul is called on Watson. His second.
Well, you see Rodney Bullock in transition, but Georgetown, I mean, that's about as open as you're going to be. Not doing a great job transition defense a couple of times in this game. And then Kyron Cartwright puts on the afterburners, sees he's got him backpedaling, and finishes.
14 for Cartwright to go along with 6 assists. Blair, runner, wedgie. And it's Providence basketball. Georgetown really struggling. 1 field goal in their last 8 attempts.
And give Providence again the credit for stopping the inside game.
Diallo fakes the 3. Now tried to hand off to Watson. Good defense by Govan to get a hand on it. That's amazing how the energy is flipped. Georgetown had it in the first half. They do not have it here. Bullock, another open 3 and another connection. 5th triple for Bullock.
I mean, that's what you need. You need your seniors to help you on the road, but Georgetown doing a terrible job on that out-of-bounds play. And this guy's the hottest guy on the court. Got to be a little closer.
Bullock's career high for 3s in a game is 6. He's got 5. Pickett, though, with the answer. His 3rd 3.
And he's long. He gets a little stronger.
Eight and a half to go. Diallo off glass for 2. And now Diallo into double figures with 10.
When you let him go right, he's tough because he's so strong, he will finish.
In Big East games only, Diallo is their 2nd leading scorer, averaging better than 13 per game. Pickett, baseline, hard foul by Watson. Timeout, and Providence feeling it.
Well, the 3-point shooting has certainly picked up, especially this guy, Rodney Bullock. Got to get a little closer to him. And then my man, Jamarco Pickett. That's a, through the legs, that's a big-time shot.
Let's take a look at the block of the game brought to you by Werner Ladder. Providence with 3 blocks in the game, 2 right here on this one possession. The Werner Ladder blocks of the game.
Well, you take a look at the paint in the first half, 22 points in the paint for Georgetown. With 8 minutes to go in the game, they've got 2 in the second half. So Ed Cooley got his, I don't know what pill he gave him at halftime to toughen him up, but he gave him something at halftime because they are a completely different team in terms of their ability to defend and be much tougher in the lane.
What a day for Alpha Diallo. He's got 10 points and a career-high 9 assists. As a team, Providence has 19 assists on 24 made buckets.
And the big one, Andrew, 2 turnovers.
Yeah, very
19
impressive.
assists, 2 turnovers. That's 9.5 to 1 assist-to-turnover ratio. You're not losing too many games with that.
Tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, it's time to pick up the sticks when college lacrosse returns to CBS Sports Network. We'll kick off the season with number 4 Ohio State taking on Jacksonville, only in the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. 8-point game with 8 minutes to go. Some pressure here by the Hoyas. Cartwright to Bullock. And Cartwright gets it across. Out to Lindsay, who's been quiet until then. A 3 for Jalen Lindsay.
Those 2 corners, Lindsay
and Bullock, one in one corner, one in the other corner. They've been drilling threes.
Lindsey's got 7 points, all here in the second half. Mosley, that's a three, and he answers. They're going to go back and check that at the next timeout, but for now, it's a three. And a steal. Mosley over to Blair for three. No. And Cartwright the rebound. Lost it out of bounds. It'll go back to the Hoyas. Here's the three they'll go back and take a look at. See if it was a 2 or a 3. It's going to be close.
That's close. I think it was a 3. I think there was a little bit of space behind.
Govan is fouled inside. Well, Ed Cooley told us before the game he thought this would be physical, and yeah, we've seen some physical play for sure. And now Diallo is down underneath the basket.
He took a shot from Govan in the face. Not, I mean, inadvertent shot, but it was a shot.
And now the officials will go over the monitor to see if there was anything potentially flagrant about the contact.
Yeah, no, I don't think there was. No, that's just, it happens. But he took a nice shot, that kid.
And Diallo is still down, and now the Providence trainer will come out. Diallo is up. That's a good sign. And the officials want to take another look now at the shot by Mosley. I think you're right, Coach. You got good vision.
Yeah, with glasses on.
A little space between the line and the foot. And a three by Mosley. Diallo has to come out of the game, and Isaiah Jackson will replace him.
And you see how big a game this is for Ed Cooley. He has hardly subbed in the second half.
Now Govan had 14 points in the first half, scoreless here in the second until now. He makes the free throw, but he's 0 for 4 shooting. One more for Jesse Govan. Junior out of Queens Village, New York. His family grew up Knicks fans, and when Patrick Ewing got the job, the first thing his mom said was, I got to get a picture with your new coach. One of my favorites. 6-point game, 7 minutes to play.
They might not get it up.
Lindsey to Watson. Nice touch by Nate Watson.
They've done a very good job of attacking that pressure. They haven't turned it over. As we said, they only have 3 turnovers the whole game, and they've attacked that pressure and scored very well.
Watson averages 6 points per game. He's got a dozen in his homecoming today. Govan 2 points away from 1,000. He puts up a shot. It's short. Bullock the rebound. Diallo at the scorer's table. So good sign there for the Friars with 6:15 to go. Watson right at Govan. And Mosley takes it down. Here comes Mosley flying up ahead. Over to Pickett. Bounces it to Johnson. Johnson in the paint. Johnson to Govan. And he's fouled by Watson. Foul number 4 on Watson, and Young also has 4.
Well, let's take a look at how Providence attacks the pressure. First of all, they have Cartwright in the second line, not in the backcourt. That's number 1. Now, look what happens. He's so smart. As soon as he gets the ball, what do he do? Stop it right there. He brings it to the middle of the floor. And once you get to the middle of the floor, now this guy doesn't know what to do, and that's why they're able to attack and get what they want. Bringing the ball into the middle of the floor was the key thing there for Kyron Cartwright.
So Watson goes out with 4 fouls, and Khalif Young returns with 4 fouls. Meanwhile, Govan, if he makes this free throw, he'll join the 1,000-point club at Georgetown. Still 1 away. Oh, wow. sloppy turnover. Cartwright puts his finger in the air and says, that pass is on me. That's my fault. But a bad time for a turnover.
Yeah, that was a bad pass.
Turnover number 4 for Ed Cooley's club. Been a lot of Mosley here in the second half. No Mulmore, no Dickerson. Govan 3, good! And Jesse Govan goes over 1,000 points for his career.
Yeah, pick and pop 3, which he's capable of doing.
A 4-point game. That got the fans out of their seats. Diallo down low, and he finishes.
He's a guard, but he plays in the low post a lot.
Blair misses the 3. Govan the offensive rebound, but he stepped out of bounds. And the ball will go back to the Friars.
Well, let's take a look at this 3 by Jesse Govan. He sets the screen on top, and he just pops out because they're looking to hedge the pick and roll and don't get back in fast enough. He can do that. They know in the scouting report he can pick and pop and knock that out.
Providence is getting crushed on the glass, being out-rebounded by 8, but they lead on the scoreboard by 6.
And the main reason, Andrew, is because no turnovers.
Diallo jumper. Another rebound for the Hoyas to Govan. That's his 10th. So a double-double for the 3rd straight game for Jesse Govan. Mosley in the foul.
Jagan Mosley does a great job of turning the corner here. Diallo does not do a good job of keeping him in front on that switch. If you're going to switch defensively, you can't allow a guy to drive that easily. Otherwise, you might as well not switch and let the other guy get screened and have to get through. If you switch, you got to be able to stop that.
Mosley, the sophomore, out of Marlboro, New Jersey, played at St. Anthony's for Bob Hurley, and he completes the 3-point play.
And he's only a sophomore. He's got good size. He's got a chance.
Cartwright had it deflected. Bullock saves him. And now Diallo will reset. Patrick Ewing was not happy with the way Georgetown allowed Providence to bring it into the front court. There was a breakdown there that he was furious about. But now 5 to shoot. Diallo for 3. And the rebound again to the Hoyas. Blair.
At the end of the shot clock, you got to get the Cartwright.
Mosley blocked by Lindsay. It'll stay with the Hoyas. And we've got a timeout with 3:37 to go. A 1-possession game coming down to the wire in D.C.
Don't stop playing downhill. Keep playing. Keep push the ball. Push the ball. Push the ball.
What was the first thing that he said? Keep fronting the post. That has been the key to this second half for them to get back in the game and have a 3-point lead, is keeping the ball out of the post area.
Now, you had some adjustments from the first game between these two. Let's revisit what you thought.
Fair on Govan. He's had a pretty good game, though, in the second half. He's been a little bit more invisible, more zone defense. Georgetown they forced Georgetown, and they have played a lot more zone in this game, which has helped keep the ball outside. Press offense, Georgetown 10 turnovers. They've done a good job. They average 16 turnovers a game and keep them off the line. Providence only 5 free throws in this game, 33 in the first game.
I think it's fair to say this next 3 minutes and 37 seconds will go a long way in determining whether Providence is playing in the NCAA tournament.
Man, this would be it'd either be a rough bus ride home, and I used to love these noon games. Especially if you won, you had the whole day to enjoy it. On the other hand, if you lose, you got the whole day to stew.
Ed Cooley has done an incredible job with the Friars. 4 straight trips to the NCAA tournament, first time in school history And they're right on the bubble, trying to make it 5 in a row.
That's an amazing job, I have to tell you, man. Because they have great tradition here. When I heard they had never been to 4 in a row, I couldn't believe it.
10 on the shot clock. Govan for the tie. No. But Derrickson the rebound.
Khalif Young's got to get that rebound. He was in position on Derrickson, and he didn't get it.
Derrickson guarded by Diallo. Derrickson takes the shot and hits. 9 points for Derrickson.
I'm just a little surprised that they're not trying to double. You know, you can double off of Mosley. He's not a three-point shooter. Yeah, he's made some this year. They got to double these post guys, I think, when they catch it.
Fans on their feet here at Capital One Arena. Cartwright is fouled. With the shot clock winding down, Cartwright draws the foul.
See, with Providence not really having a post presence offensively, you know, Khalif Young is okay. They need to get the ball to Cartwright and let him do his thing. He's very hard to guard. He does a good job of attacking the paint that time and getting to the free throw line.
15 points for Cartwright to go along with 9 assists and just 1 turnover.
I'd like to see Georgetown go with the high-low on this next possession between Govan and Derrickson.
Back up to a 3-point game with 2:38 to go. The Hoyas have played a number of close games this year, and for the most part, they've come out on the short end of the stick. Can they get over the hump here against the Friars?
I like the move Providence goes to a zone that time.
Derrickson. And the rebound to Khalif Young.
Now that was a good box out by Rodney Bullock. He had Jesse Govan on his back, and he kept him there. I like the move of going zone by Ed Cooley.
Each team with 3 timeouts remaining as we approach 2 minutes to go. Diallo in and out. And Govan the rebound.
That was a big miss. He had a good opportunity there.
Pickett for 3. And the rebound to Derrickson had it taken away by Cartwright. Derrickson did not hold on tight enough, and Cartwright ripped it away.
Khalif Young better start getting some rebounds because he was in a good position there on Derrickson and didn't get that one either.
.90 seconds to go. Cartwright in the paint, off-balance shot, no, and the rebound, Mosley has it. Derrickson guarded by Bullock, and Derrickson wins that battle. 1-point game.
That's what you call rim running. Derrickson runs right to the box and gets great position.
Ed Cooley wants a timeout. 1:04 to go. Hoyas within 1. You're watching March to March, presented by California Almonds. But since then, a 16-6 run for the Hoyas.
Well, take a look at Derrickson, where he runs. What I love about what he's running to the basket, right, a little bit more. Stop right there. Look what he does. That's what you call doing your work early. He starts his post up this high to leave him all this space here to be able to seal his man up and score. That is what you call doing your work early. Marcus Derrickson, great job there in transition.
Mini Patrick Ewing can barely watch. It's so tight. Here at the Capital One Arena, a 1-point Providence lead with Steve Lapis and Tina Servasio. I'm Andrew Catalan. Providence has 2 timeouts remaining. Georgetown with 3.
And in the last 5-6 minutes, they've done a great job on Bullock and Lindsay. Those guys haven't been able to get a shot, let alone make a shot.
And you also saw the Hoyas have only committed 3 fouls this half. So if they're in a situation where they have to foul late, they're in a bit of trouble with 1 minute to go.
Well, you're going to see a pick and roll.
Cartwright driving back out and nearly turned it over. Only 5 on the shot clock. Diallo up fake. Now drives. Plays it in and the foul. Diallo with a big play.
What a great play there, and it was really that shot fake. They run the weave, so they're moving Georgetown all over the place. And then the shot fake right there, and that's what allowed him to be able to get to the basket on that move. Johnson took the fake, got out of his stance, and he drove it. That was a good play by Diallo. He didn't want to shoot a three there. He wanted to get something going to the basket. Very smart play.
But he misses the free throw to keep it a one-possession game. Inside 40 seconds to go, and Patrick Ewing wants a timeout. What will Ewing draw up? Georgetown down by 3. Another close game for the Hoyas this year in Big East play. You see how many have been decided by not a lot, including the one in Providence where they were up 5 with 1:20 to go, and the Friars closed the game on a 9-0 run. Right now it's a 3-point game, 37 seconds to go. If you were in that Georgetown huddle, what would you be telling your players?
I think it's pretty simple. Get the ball to Derrickson or Govan. Run the high-low, because Govan also has made a 3 off the pick and pop. Post up Derrickson. He's probably got the better matchup in terms of posting up in the low post on Jalen Lindsey. I would get a high-low and get it down to Derrickson.
What about defensively for the Friars, Coach?
Well, they're going to go. They went zone that last possession. It'll be interesting to see. Patrick Ewing's got to have his guys ready for man and zone. I got to think that they're going to. When you're up 3, you don't want to give up a 3. You're going to play man to man. I think Ed Cooley should talk about doubling, though, if the ball does go into the low post.
Tina's been listening in. What do you have, Tina?
Well, Ed Cooley says he's told his team to watch for the pick and pop by Georgetown, and then he wants Diallo and Cartwright to switch on the point guards if that situation comes up.
Well, either one of the Georgetown big guys are capable of picking and popping. Derrickson, very good three-point shooter. Govan, a good three-point shooter. So they do have to beware of that. And you know what? If you can shoot threes, Andrew, and you're a big guy at the top of the key, they have to pressure that high-low pass, which gives you more space to make the pass.
Georgetown called timeout, then Providence called timeout. So 2 left for the Friars, 1 remains for the Hoyas. 37 seconds to go. Mosley will inbound. Also on the floor for the Hoyas, Derrickson, Govan, Pickett, and Blair. 2 freshmen and a sophomore on the floor for Georgetown in crunch time. Blair from the free throw line. No, and the rebound. Bullock has it. Hands off to Cartwright. Got a foul. Racing up ahead. Cartwright over to Diallo, and they've got a foul. We mentioned before they did not have a lot of team fouls. That's just their 5th.
Yeah, that was a bad. They needed to foul that much sooner. As soon as that ball missed, they needed to foul. They needed to foul Bullock on that rebound. Right there, they needed to foul him, and they got to foul quick again.
There's the foul by Pickett. They need to do one more with 13.5 to go.
I don't think Blair took a bad shot that last time, but you got to get Derrickson or Govan has to get a touch on that possession.
16 fouls. They get it to Bullock. There's the foul by Govan. And now a 1-and-1 for Rodney Bullock, who's a 73% free throw shooter. As a team today, the Friars are 6 for 8 from the line. And a timeout called by Providence with 12.6 to go. 72-69, Providence in front in a critical game for the NCAA tournament hopes of the Friars. Ed Cooley called that last timeout, so each team with 1 remaining. And it's a 1-and-1 for Rodney Bullock, the senior out of Hampton, Virginia. We met with Cooley before the game, and he said all 3 of his seniors had to play well today. And now it's a senior at the line to try to make it a 2-possession game. 17 points for Bullock on the afternoon.
If he misses, Georgetown can still take a 2, but it's got to be in the first 4 seconds. Otherwise, you're going to need a 3. And if it gets under 5, well, that changes things.
Big free throw for Bullock. A 2-possession game.
If I'm Georgetown now, I am pushing this thing and trying to score as quickly as I can, even if it's a 2, because you're down 5 anyway, and then call timeout. You need to go.
Dickerson. It's Derrickson for 3. It won't go. The rebound to Jackson, and that will do it. Patrick Ewing was saying, why didn't you guys foul? But the Friars escape DC with a big 74-69 win.
That was a huge win for the Friars and Ed Cooley, no doubt about it. They did what they needed to do. Give them credit for tremendous energy in the second half defensively and stopping that paint scoring.
Providence trailed by as many as 8 in the first half, and they come all the way back to win thanks to 19 points from Bullock and 16 points for Cartwright to go along with 9 assists. Providence has now won 8 in a row in the series against Georgetown. We'll have more to come right after this. Providence wins it 74-69 as we send it over to Tina Servasio.
And joined by Kyron Cartwright. Congratulations, Coach Cooley. We'll start with the coach. And Coach, second half, the team came out with so much more energy. What was the message at halftime?
Well, I thought we were getting really good shots early. We had a lot of defensive breakdowns, and you know, once we cut down on our breakdowns, we were able to get out in transition. When Kyron's playing that way and guys are making shots to give everybody confidence, we're pretty tough out.
And you went to the zone defense more in the second half too. Why?
Well, you know, you got to keep them off balance. That's a talented team over there. You know, they're learning, they're growing together. And, you know, you're playing on the road. You do everything to keep them off balance, but really proud of the grit of the guys in the second half to try to get back on the winning side. Coach,
thank you. Congratulations. Kyron, we'll go to you. What adjustments did you have to make personally in the second half, the way they defended you in the first half?
You know, I just had to come out and play with more confidence. You know, a lot of times I get down on myself when I miss shots, but today my team was there to pick me up. You know, all my guys huddled around me in the locker room and just told me to come out and shoot the ball, and that's what I did.
What kind of importance was put on this game, knowing how it could impact your NCAA tournament selection?
With the Big East, you know, every game is important. They had a great crowd here tonight. They have a great team. You know, it's their first year together, but you could tell it's something special here at Georgetown. But we just want to, you know, come out and play hard. We got a lot of team members with family here. You know, they always want to get the win in front of the family.
Kyron, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you, Andrew.
Providence wins 74-69. For Steve Lapis, Tina Servasio, our entire crew, I'm Andrew Catalan. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. After the break, it's Loyola, Maryland, and Navy. So long from Washington, D.C.